everyone, welcome to the September Q&A for the Black and White edition. As always, if you've got questions for me, feel free to submit them. We'll have a call for questions towards the middle of the month. And anything you got, hit me with it, and I'll do my best to answer it. So let's dig right in here. First question is from Nicole. Starting to work with senior high school students, what's the best way to work with your senior reps? Do you offer them free sessions, purchase prints? Nicole, yes, to everything you just said. My senior reps get that kind of red carpet treatment. And so what that means is we're going to do a free session for them. We're going to give them free hair and makeup. We're actually going to give them more time on their session than we would a normal senior. Normal senior shoot is about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, whereas a senior rep could be anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours. And we're going to drive all over town. We want to do cool things. We want to make it an absolute experience. And then, of course, we're going to give them free prints. We could have a 2-hour conversation about our rep program. So be sure to check out the School of Photography, which is launching next month, sopsc.com. We actually go in depth into our senior program. All right, thank you for giving me the opportunity for the shameless plug. Next question comes from Jake. Wedding images. Is there any tips you could give on how to edit your fine art images for the couple, or any presets you have made? Any tips? I feel like you guys are softballing me this month. Yes, we do have presets. If you go to our store, we have a new set of presets that are out there, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to look at our presets per se. Let's just talk about how we present those images to our clients. If you're going to do fine art, we like to print on fine art paper, right? It's hard to call it fine art when you're printing on metallic paper. It just doesn't look and feel that way. And so in-house, we have Canon, the new Canon. I think they're 1,000 printers. I don't know the name off the top of my head. I'm looking behind me because we got one. Yes, it's the Canon Pro 1000. These are what we use in our studio. You can print fine art paper there. You can get dialed into your monitor so it looks the exact same way it does on your screen. And then we're using Canson paper for that, right? So I'm a big fan of their rag paper. I think it's their 315. If you want to outsource to a lab, labs produce fine art paper as well. But when fine art prints, it tends to be a little bit darker. So I like to have that control in my studio. Anyway, squirrel, I'm a little off your question. To that point, I like it to be black and white, sepia tone, and punchy, like some clarity, some contrast. I really want it to be punchy in that fine art area. Yeah, you can print color on fine art paper, but it just, to me, doesn't evoke that same emotion. Hence, we're talking about the black and white edition and fine art along with that. Next question. What is the best way to recover your business from bad business decisions in the past, i.e. changing your logo, branding, prices? How do you recover and get back on track? This is a really interesting question. So everyone struggles with it, by the way. I think early on in my career, to our pricing, I mean, you could book our base package for a wedding for $999. It may have even been as low as $799, whereas today our base package is in the $4,000 range. But how did I recover? Well, you don't just recover overnight, right? That's the thing you have to keep in mind. If you want to change your pricing and change your brand and images and your style of photography even, it's going to have to be a gradual change, because what you don't want to do, unless you're just not making money right now, if you're not making any money right now, change immediately, right? Then you're okay. But if you've got a steady stream of business coming in, making those changes too abruptly is going to lead to a loss of business, because you have to go after a completely different market, and that's going to take time. So you've got two issues there. One, are you making money right now? If you're not, change immediately. Make those changes, get to where you want to be, not necessarily where you are now. However, if you do have a steady stream of business, albeit the wrong clients, cheap clients, things along those lines, you've got to gradually make that change so that all new clients coming into your studio are seeing your new pricing, your new branding, your new logo. Hopefully that makes sense. Next question comes to us from Justo. Sal, I'm a wedding photographer living in Brazil. I'm moving to South Florida. I have several wedding albums, from a thick leather wrap to slim covers, that I plan on taking with me to use for my portfolio. What else would you recommend me doing so I can get a head start? So Justo, what I would recommend you're doing is immediately marketing to the Florida market. Do not wait until you're on the ground. So that means getting your website set up. If you're out of Brazil, I'm going to assume your website's in Portuguese. We've got to get that website up in English, and we've got to get it to not be like, and I don't know the domain names for Brazil. I don't know if it's .com, .br, but it's got to be a true .com. So let's get that stuff set up so that you look like you have an established presence in Florida, and get that stuff moving now. Do not wait until you're on the ground. Next question comes to us from Mary. What are the optimal times of day to post, and understanding a little bit about hashtags? We've had hit and miss. when it comes to Facebook marketing, what should we be doing to make it better or most optimal? Marcy, huge question, by the way. So I don't know, I can give you an answer really quick here. Optimal times a day. I tend to post earlier in the day and later in the day. And that's just my strategy. I think you have to figure out what works for you. I mean, there's a ton of best practices out there, but I don't know that they hold true across the world, right? There's just like, it's Tuesdays between 9 and 11. So you've got to figure out what works. I tend to post less on the weekends, although we have posted on like a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday and seen some traction. So I'm not trying to skirt the question, but what I want you to do is think about it from the perspective of, I don't know. The answer is you've got to test it and document it. As long as you're testing and documenting and saying, hey, we made a post on Monday, right, at 9 a.m., we got 22 likes. I'm making numbers up. But I did the same post again on Wednesday evening, and we got 75 likes. That'll be the way to document what's working for you and what's not. And it'll be the same thing with Facebook promotions, right? What are you promoting? What's your call to action? When they get to your website, is your website set up right? A lot of times photographers don't think about this, but when they get to your website just looks like complete shit. Well, if your website looks like shit and it's outdated, your clients are not going to contact you to spend money. So you might see a case where, right, you've got 500 clicks or 200 clicks from a Facebook ad to your site, but then you're only converting 5 people. Okay, that's got to tell you that when they get there, they're seeing something they don't like. Hopefully that helps. Next question is from Brian. What is the best way to find businesses that need commercial photography? How do you approach them and get their attention? Brian, just walk out your door, right? Whether it's your house or your business or wherever your studio is located, look left, look right. There's all your business right there, unless you live on a farm and then there's nobody there. But the reality is, go to your town, doctors, lawyers, dentists, realtors, they all need headshots. They all need commercial work. Now, does that mean they're going to spend money on it? No. Have you seen some of the horrific like local TV commercials that run? I mean, there's not a day that goes by where I'm not sitting at home at night, I'm watching CNN, and I see this like, the time slot must be for local TV commercials, and they come on, it's for law firms, and they are horrible. They're cheesy, the pictures are horrible. These people need it, but they know they do have money to spend, right? Because they're on a local TV ad, or they're on billboards. And that's the worst. You'll see a local business that has a billboard in your town and a horrible shot. Well, if you want to know where to start, there you go. Because you already know they have marketing dollars that they're willing to spend. And so just reach out, put a campaign together, and start connecting with local businesses. All right, next one comes to us from Haley. So you guys have a huge senior market in the US where no one is specifically doing it here. I'm assuming you're overseas. Any suggestions on how to promote something no one knows is a thing or that they even need yet? So here's the thing, Haley, sorry. Here's the thing. In the United States, in the Midwest of the country, senior pictures are a big thing. But if you go to New York, if you go to California, it's not necessarily a big thing because they don't think they need it, right? They just think they need their yearbook shot. So don't be under the impression that the entire US, everybody here thinks they need senior pictures. But here's my philosophy. I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care where you are in the United States. I've never met a high school teenager that doesn't want to look beautiful. If you've met that kid, then that's the anomaly. Most of these kids, high school cheerleaders, sports athletes, they all want to look beautiful. They all want badass pictures. How do I know that? How can I make a statement like that? Well, because their role models do that, right? Whether their role models are people like Tyra Banks on America's Next Top Model, or their role models are like Serena Williams, right? These are athletes that'll do an amazing Nike campaign and have a badass shot of them. So if you're an athlete, you're telling me you don't want that kind of picture of yourself? Of course you do, right? If you're, a high school cheerleader, high school's pretty girls, pretty group, you don't want beautiful pictures of you looking like a high fashion model? Of course you do. I've never met a 16 or 17-year-old that is not self-conscious about the way they look, and they love pictures. These kids take more selfies than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Trust me, there's a market for it. You just have to go after it. And don't call them senior pictures. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you call them, the fashion experience, right? Get away from senior pictures, get away from senior portraits, and just call it the fashion experience, right? Because that's what we're doing here. We're changing the way we're marketing to high school seniors. We're going to call it the fashion experience. And I think that's going to help us get further ahead with our kids. All right, next question comes to us from Elisa. How do you make the jump to hiring extra help from the day-to-day stuff, financially, timing-wise. My partner and I desperately want to grow and are maxed out on weddings, and we already outsource basic editing, but don't quite know how to get extra help for free, up some of our resources to shoot more. Do we outsource more, and interns, etc.? Yes. So, and it depends on where you are in the stage of your business. So today, I am in a much better place than I was when I first started. When I first started, like many of you, I started in my basement. It was just me and my wife at the time, and we had to do absolutely everything. And then over time, I had a high school senior come in. She was into photography. She was in the photography club. And then, of course, we added her to as an intern. So during the summer months, she would come in. She would help me on photo shoots. She would help pack client pictures. She would help check them in. And every summer when she came home from college, she worked with us for a good 3 to 4 year window. That would be where I would start. Now fast forward, you're a bigger studio, you've got more revenue coming in. Now you want to add full-time dedicated people. And it's very important to understand the why. People who have been with your organization 2, 3, 4 years, they understand your culture, they understand the why behind what you're doing, they understand customer service, whereas an intern that you're paying $10 or $15 an hour to is not going to understand those things as much as you want them to. So you want to develop and hang on to these people. My second shooter, for example, is a dedicated person. She has been my second shooter for 4 years now. I would never bring in temporary help to be my second shooter because there's too much at risk on an actual wedding day. All right, next question comes to us from, I'm going to screw this up. Katerina, maybe I got that right, I hope. Marketing to the high-end market. How, where, when, what works, what doesn't work? Man, we could have like drinks and we could talk for a few hours. Great question though. Let's talk about how to get started. If you want to market to the high-end market, you've got to act like a high-end client, right? Here's what I want you to think about. I'm constantly talking about the Louis Vuitton experience. And I love it when I talk to photographers about Louis Vuitton and then their eyes glaze over, right? And I say, have you ever even been into Louis Vuitton? And they're like, no. And they're almost annoyed by it, right? I would never pay $3,000 for a bag. Okay, well, you're never going to be a high-end photographer because you don't understand that market. I'm not saying you have to shop at Louis Vuitton. I'm not saying you have to go buy Louis Vuitton products. I am saying, though, that client who you're expecting to spend top dollar with you, I think a high-end wedding photographer, you're in that $10,000 plus range. If you want to make $10,000 on a wedding, but you're showing up in a beater car and you're showing up in like no-name jeans and no-name shoes, they're not going to connect with you, right? But if now I'm rolling in and I'm connecting with them and I understand, right, the type of pants they have on and how expensive those were, and I understand fine wine, and I understand, a host of other things that might really seem superficial to many people. Well, it's not. These are things that are the finer things in life. Just like you want your photography to be part of those finer things. Well, you have to understand that client, what makes them tick. So you got to start getting into that mindset. Grab magazines, look at online, look at what is trending in these areas, right? And it'll help you think like them. And then the next part to that is, right, you don't just go shopping at Louis Vuitton and all of a sudden you got high-end clients coming in. What's going to have to happen is you're going to have to start connecting with maybe planners in that market so that they can make the introduction as you're still growing your business. All right, so lots to do there, no silver bullet. Last question comes to us from Brent. How do you find interesting shots in a boring town without doing a grid search of the entire city? So here's how we do it. When it comes to finding spots and interesting spots, I think it's in the eye of the beholder, right? As photographers, we can all walk up and just see an old barn, and there could be 10 photographers there. All 10 of us are going to photograph it completely differently. And so the question for you, and the challenge for you, I suppose, is how do you turn the ordinary into something extraordinary? That's really the challenge for you. And I think that's where a lot of artists struggle, right? It's not going to necessarily be beautiful, but what if you change your angle? What if you get down on one knee? What if you, change your focal length on your lens? What if you go with something super wide, right, or super tight? Changing these things up can make something that's totally ordinary, i.e. here in St. Louis, we've got the St. Louis Arch. St. Louis Arch at a certain point just makes me want to slip my wrist. I'm so tired of shooting there. But every time I go there, I try to do something a little bit different to make it interesting. So really, the challenge is on you, right? So get out there, look for something ordinary, and challenge yourself to turn it, make it extraordinary. All right, great questions this month. Like I said, hit us up. We'll do a call for questions in the middle of the month. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again. Enjoy this month's issue.